Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to see new topic in grammar, that is mean by figure of speech. So this question can be asked for 2 marks in poetry section. Now let us see about the figure of speeches. And as figure of speeches, how many figure of speeches are there? I think near about more than 24 figure of speeches are there. So let us see. Just now we discuss about this figure of speech. So what is a figure of speech? What is a figure of speech? Now see here, it is a literary device in which language is used in a unusual of a figured way in order to produce a stylistic effect. Stylistic effect. It can be broken into 2 main groups. To polish the language. And to produce a stylistic effect, especially in a poetry section. So, this is used by the poet in figure of speech. Now see here. So it can be broken into 2 main groups. Figure of speech that play with the ordinary meaning of words. For example, metaphor, simile, hyperbole. So now see here. First of all, we will discuss about the simile. Simile. How to identify the figure of speech from the stanza in poetry section. That is means, and especially see here now, simile. It is very easy to identify the simile figure of speech from the stanza in poetry section. Direct comparison is made between the different objects. Words such as like, as are used. So in simile figure of speech, there is a direct comparison. It is made between the 2 objects. It is made the 2 objects, different objects, and these 2, for comparison, which words are used as like or as. If you see like or as, with these words are used to compare between between 2 different objects. So then we can identify that is means a simile figure of speech here. Like you see, you keep in mind that like as. So these words are used to compare between 2 different objects. For example, they fight like cats and dogs. They fight like cats and dogs. So, like it is coming here to compare between the 2 different objects. They fight like cats and dogs. So, what is the figure of speech here? So, this is the simile figure of speech here. Number 2, Hercules fought like a lion in the battle. Hercules fought like a lion in the battle. So, like it is comparison. It is coming for comparison between the 2 different things. The Hercules and the lion. So, and which this word is used to compare between the 2 different things, and then we can identify. So, this is a simile figure of speech. You can see it is very easy to identify the simile figure of speech. If you see in any stanza in a poetry section that like or as, so we can understand. So this is the simile figure of speech. So because figure of speech, if you want to identify, or if we have to pick out the figure of speech from the poetry section, from the stanza, so it can be asked this question for 2 marks. Now see here, Hercules fought like a lion in the battle. Another example is here. It is as precious as gold. As. So, this comparison between it and that gold. So, it is as precious as gold. It is as precious as gold. So, it is precious, but how it is precious? As gold as, means this is the comparison between the 2 things, between the 2 different things. So, as means it is a simile figure of speech here. Now we will see here another figure of speech, metaphor. Today we discuss about the two only that figure of speech. Number one simile and number two metaphor. So metaphor, indirect comparison is made between the two objects. Words such as like or as are not used. So simile we can means the metaphor and that simile means near about same. But what is the difference between the simile and metaphor? So mean metaphor, the indirect comparison is made between two objects. Is here it is a comparison made between different objects. Is words are used like and as. But now here metaphor, indirect comparison is made between two objects and words such as like or as are not used. It is same, but these words are not used to compare between the two objects. For example, Hercules was a lion in the battle. Hercules was a lion in the battle. But in the simile, what is the here sentence? Hercules fought like a lion in the battle, and in the metaphor, Hercules was a lion in the battle. Now see, what is the difference between the meaning, but between the two sentences? Hercules was lion in the battle. So the lion is compared to Hercules. Means lion is compared to Hercules. How was Hercules? Hercules was a lion in the battle. So here is indirect comparison. Here is indirect comparison between the Hercules and lion. So it is a metaphor, figure of speech. It is metaphor, figure of speech. So now another example is here. Life is dream. Life is dream. Life and dream. Indirect comparison between life and dream. How is life? Life is like a dream. Means it is a, what is the figure of speech here? Metaphor. What is the figure of speech here? So metaphor. So these are the two figure of speech which are used in the poetic section. In the poetry section, and it is very easy to identify from the stanza. So it can be asked for 2 marks. Let us discuss about the simile. So simile, figure of speech is here. How to identify? When we see like, as, when we see these words like or as, then we can identify. So this is a simile, figure of speech. And when we identify the metaphor, figure of speech, when the indirect comparison is made between two objects, then we can identify this is a metaphor. Means as or like are not used in the for a metaphor. There is a indirect comparison between two objects. So this is today the simile and metaphor. Let us continue about the next figure of speeches. Okay. So thank you for listening.